Hello, boys. I was just gonna say, Alex lost the habit of coming here, and there he is. Hey, right. So, hi everybody. Today is a special day. It's the last day, last race of the season. It's been a fantastic year in many ways, and well, very long as per what we hear that some of you feel. It's been 15 regular races, and now the title race to close up. And we decided, as you can see, to do it in Valencia. So it was not all random, as maybe you expected it to be. So anyway, we know it's a new track. Most of you probably have not raced it, at least probably not competitively. So in that sense, there are a couple of things to worry about as far as what the other admins mentioned with the pit entry and exit being probably the most annoying thing. And also the track limits. I've heard, because I personally have not raced it yet, I've heard they are quite quite messy. So it would be sad to see maybe Mattia Porta losing the championship due to track limits. I think still within reach if he doesn't finish the race and Lucas wins. Although having Alex here, maybe that's not going to happen. But other than that, there is still a lot of chances of things moving in the final standings, because remember this is a double points race. So we have Cactus and Lucas still fighting for second. There are 90 points in there, but you know anything can happen. And Bosic racing today? Yeah, there he is. And Bosic could still finish third, which, you know, a podium in the championship still quite worth it. So if you guys are close today, we are certainly going to give you a lot of airtime. And then Moss and Chandler have 120 points difference. Again, it could happen. And that would be the fight for fifth. So all in all, I personally wanted to thank you for sticking with us until the end. We know that every long season loses people on the way because they cannot compete anymore. We will be reconsidering that, and we already are working on the next season and something in between to keep us all entertained in the summer break in the northern hemisphere anyway, for you guys during winter. And yeah, that's all. We want to hear your feedback. And things are not final until they are announced, and as you know, they are not announced yet. So, if you have anything to tell us about what you would like the next season to be like, please let us know. We will have every input in consideration. And all we want to do is the most entertaining competition for you guys, and to see the community grow and have it more and more competitiveness in our races. So thanks a lot. This is gonna be the last driver briefing for a while, so that's gonna be some vacations for me as well. So enjoy today. I'm gonna have Dan broadcasting with me. I think that turned out very well last week, and we're gonna do our best to give the best of the show for YouTube as well. So yeah, go out there, have fun, and talk to you soon, guys. Cheers. All right, then. Then. There he is. I finished it my mistake. How do I promote you to talk? Oh my god. Invite to speak. There we go. Hello, Dan.
Hello. How you going, mate?
I'm all right. I just messed up a couple of things. So my OBS crashed. So I had to restart the streaming. and now I closed the streaming before before letting you know that we were gonna stay there. So anyway, we are here. People heard the whole streaming, so that's already helpful because they heard our speech about next stuff coming along. So yeah, here we are today, ready for the title race. How are you feeling today, man?
Mate, I'm feeling pretty good. Last week was all right. I mean, are we on air at the minute?
Yeah, we are.
Is
Yeah,
this
we are.
going to? We are. That's good to know. Thanks, mate. No, but things were good. Last week was, it was enjoyable. What we tried to do, I think. So I was happy with that. And work's been busy. Everything's been normal. And here we are, looking at what's ahead of us with this final race.
Yeah, so as I was mentioning on the drivers briefing, we have a couple of fights to watch very closely. It's very unlikely that Mattia will lose the championship today, so probably, I mean, unless things start to go south, we are not gonna watch at him that much during the beginning. We do have a fight,
Yeah, that's right.
which is
Yeah.
Cactus and Bosic. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm really interested in those positions where, with Stiff, Chris, even Rob as well. Where that, I think, what are they, 3, 4, and 5 in the championship at the moment with the standings, and there's a lot of theoretical possibilities around the scores or the points at this stage. So anything can happen, but and normally they'll find themselves next to each other racing along. So it'll be interesting to see how things go.
Yeah, and mostly new track, yeah? So people won't have a lot of experience here.
That's right. I don't have much either. I've done 24 laps at Valencia.
I've done
I did them
zero.
the other week. Yeah,
I've done
yeah.
absolutely zero.
So
Yeah.
yeah. But it's a pretty good track. Like when I started on
I heard people like
ACC,
it, right?
you
Yeah.
know, yeah, it's got lots of, there's areas where you can flow the car. There's parts where you have to really be maybe more aggressive, or be more cautious. So it's got a lot of character to it, I think. So maybe you should get out and do some laps on it when you get a chance.
Yeah, I'm aiming for September to that. So I think,
Hmm.
I don't know if I told you, but I mean, the reason I'm not driving there, so people know, I mean, that I'm not driving frequently because anyway I'm streaming, so I wouldn't be driving. But it's because right now in the place I've been living for the last 2 years or so, with the Xbox it was fine because I have the Xbox in the living room. So I have a chair, a racing chair with these kind of wheels, that you can move the thing around, and I put it in front, and it's all right. My dear future wife is so kind enough to allow me to have the racing chair in the living room, just next to the TV, which is very kind, very nice. But
Yeah, I
for
get that. I get that. So I have a wife, and I have the same
yeah,
luxury at times. So it's good.
it's a real luxury, man. It's a real luxury. But so for the Xbox is great. I just put the chair in and plays. I'm playing no problem. But for PC, I need to be moving the PC from my office, so to say, into the
Okay.
living room,
Yeah.
plug it into the TV, because it's either I move the chair into that room, which it doesn't fit, or moving the
Yep.
PC. So it's a bit annoying. So I will be moving in September, and I will be able at least to race for fun, which I hardly can now. So yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's right.
reason.
Well, I use my PC like it's a console. Like that's the PC I have. That's all it does. I don't get
I
emails
see.
on it. I don't use it for anything else. I just invested the resources in that, and it goes in the box. It comes out of the box, and I just treat it like a console. So
So where do you do work? In a laptop or something?
where do I?
Yeah.
Well, my work's hands-on stuff, mate. I'm outdoors all the time, so I've got a desktop in the home office, and I do have
Right.
a laptop that I acquired. I bought for work, of course. It's obviously a gaming laptop, so it's
Obviously.
it needed for CAD design and
No
and
fucking
things
around.
and graphics,
Oh,
of course.
nice.
That's right, yeah.
Oh
So I've got
man.
a backup if I need it.
Now that you mention it, because I'm moving because I'm buying a house with land, and the land is on a slope, and I have been
Oh,
looking
great.
for a software where I can design the land so that I can plan for it. Because it has a lot of. It's a second hand, so it already has stuff in it, and it's such a nightmare.
Yep.
I don't really find anything that is purposed for something like that. Given that I don't have a lot of experience in it, or granted 0. But yeah, like funny that you mentioned CAD because I know it's possible in there. It's just probably excessively complicated to design something like that.
Yeah. Look, it's not really something I would do on more. I mean, it's just and again another luxury that I've afforded myself. But that laptop will do everything I need to run the back end of my business, so it's fine. So
Very
it's all very
nice.
good. Yeah. Hey, we've got 10 minutes to go in qualifying, mate.
Yeah, I
What's
was just
happening out
gonna
there?
say, let's
Yeah.
focus on it.
Look,
I was
we can talk about that stuff later.
yeah, I was
Offline. If you need a hand, I'll design you a garden from Melbourne, Australia.
no, I was particularly focused now on Lucas is first, but Cactus is second. Given that um, Venables and Porta have not yet put a lap, but Cactus second and Bosage third. That's what I'm looking at now, and there is a gap between them of 3 tenths. And the track conditions at the moment are green, so they are still not optimum. That's why we might be seeing slightly slower lap times than maybe some people would be expecting. But also, if anyone doesn't know, we don't run qualifying on Sundays, we run it on Saturdays. That's why weather could still change for the race. Practice actually was a bit cloudier. Now you can see the sky maybe in some of the snaps, and it's fairly blue, even though it was still 30%. Some people ask and don't really understand why this weather change with the same server settings, and it's just the variability factor, the randomness that we set at 2x. It's not crazy. It's good enough to allow that, which I think it can happen. And specifically in Valencia, that's another thing. It's a place in Spain that has a lot of sun hours, but it can change the weather any minute. That's
okay. Very very variable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you on the live stream at the moment? Who are you following, mate? What car are we with?
I'm following Bosage right now, but I think I'm gonna change to the control overlay, the race control overlay, so people see the timings like I used to do.
Right. Yep.
So moving into that, and they can see the top.
Because looking at the timing, the table now with the drivers, I mean, Robert at P6 at the minute, Chris, and then Cactus as well up there in P3. That's that little. In my head, that's that little battle that those guys have got, amongst themselves. So it looks like the current qualifying times are reflecting how close they're going to be at the grid, which will mean that definitely the first phase of the race will be interesting with those guys battling, and they'll keep it clean, I imagine. So
I think
hopefully
so.
we get to see something going on there in that, because we know that Mateo, for all intents and purposes, has got the championship wrapped up unless something goes completely disastrous for him. So yeah, this is where there'll be a lot of action, and Chris has been driving really well lately too. He had a great race last week, with what he did last the P4, I think it was, something along those lines. So
indeed, no, that's so true, and I mean, obviously, I think we had something similar in Xbox. I think it happened. Someone that forgot to press, the drive button and started from the grid, but it did not get as high up as Bosage. Granted that that other person started 20 something, because in Xbox the grid was bigger, but Bosage did not make any mistake. Yeah, that other person did, and that's why I got 11th or 10th or something like that. But
consistency is so important, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, I'm go into Cactus, giving him some time. We are 13 people today. We have a new guy though. We have, I think his name is Scott Wyatt. He joined us today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, found us. We hope he likes it. He seems to be a bit off base at the moment, but oh wow, we don't have. Oh man, Fabio got upset and he's not here today. That's so. Anyway, so I was wondering where is Fabio, because Fabio is one of the guys that improved the most this year. and he started, maybe not being certainly the fastest, but yeah, he improved. He put his head down, and he ended up top 5 in a few races this season.
Yeah, that's right. He just had that DNF last week, didn't he, as well? So it's not.
He had a bit of headbutting with with Katkus.
Himself. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was unfortunate, but
Yeah.
we'll have him next season.
Well, anyway, but yeah, look, I mean, Scott. Yeah, I mean, the new driver there, Scott. I mean, what's he doing? What? Yeah, 136, 137, something like that. Is that right?
Something like that. Yeah.
That's hey, welcome to my world, Dad. That's where I belong. So that's fine, as long as you're out there having a go. It doesn't matter how really. I mean, it doesn't matter how fast you're going. Yeah, get involved, and just try to manage the your place on the track as best you can, and be consistent. With up and out of the way of the faster guys, especially if there's a battle or something really pivotal going on in their race.
Indeed, and I don't know if it was last week that we talked about it or somewhere earlier, but what some people are looking for is just belonging somewhere, right? And feeling part of a community, not so much winning. Like when we have discussions with the admins about what people enjoy more or less to drive or not, there is never an agreement, because the amount of people that we have and the kind of people that we have is fairly heterogeneous. We have some very fast drivers, we have a middle ground, so to say, that have a different interest, and the back of the grid has a different interest. So it's they come, but they don't get upset, because there is the intention of creating 2 classes for next season, which we will probably aim to do anyway, so that the second class has a chance to win as well. And that's fine, but I don't think people are demanding it as much as we think, rather than just racing around together, I think.
Yeah, and I think if everyone can be consistent with the way they behave, the way they engage with the community, then everyone will know if it's for them or not, and then eventually you'll get similar like-minded people, getting together online and doing what we're doing.
Indeed. All right, so 2 minutes to go. Laps are around 130 here, so most people are gonna get only 2 shots left. Cactus is going out. He's currently second, ahead of Lucas, and that difference to Bosic, who's currently 6th, would grant him for sure the 3rd position, because he's currently ahead. Bosic needs to do better, and I don't think that's gonna be in there. It's 8/10 difference. Too much probably to change. Change too much during the race anyway. Even if it's with some mistakes of Katkas, it's too big. Right now, Chandler is closer to Bosic than anything else, and then there is a huge gap between Chandler and Paul Hester. There is a second, which is dividing the grid in 2. We have the top 7 in under 1 second or under 1 second, and then everyone else above 2 seconds. So. We're hoping obviously for close fights, but it seems like they are going to be splitting in these 2 classes we were talking about anyway.
Yeah. And right now, I mean, it's just changed. I mean, I'm looking at the timetables through the game, and we have 132, 125 for Alex, and Katkus at 0.027. The rest of those times that we see, is that the gap to each driver between each of them, or is it an accumulative one?
Was that a question?
My question,
Sorry, my girlfriend sent me something, and I'm like...
That's okay. Yeah. Forget about my question. Let's worry about the last 43 seconds, mate. We'll talk about it later. So
right now, Katkus is invalidating, but he's going to start his last lap. He has actually a go, and I forgot to put the ballast, so people are going to kill me now. But it's too late to fix it. Anyway, Alex was not here last week, so that doesn't qualify. Moss was, so Moss should have gotten ballast, but maybe because it's a title race, it's actually fair if we don't do it, because it's all for all now. Actually, I'm happy that I didn't do it. It makes more sense not to do it, and probably will change it in the regulations for next season, because this is where you are playing for what you have done the whole year, not just as a consequence of round 15. So right now Alex is on 0 on his lap. He's gonna match his previous time. Cactus is below 1.5, so it doesn't seem like it's improving it. And everyone else is pretty much in the same situation. So Lucas is about to finish his lap. Also, Rob Chandler going through, not improving. Lucas Keys going through, not improving. Alex already went through, did not improve. Cactus and Moss are in the pits. Lucas in the pits. Bosic going through, improving, nothing as well. Nothing. How could he nail exactly the same lap? And then we have Porta, who could also have gotten ballast, if I remember correctly. But again, what I just said. And he's not improving either. And it's going to be one of his worst qualifying of the year. He still has 20 seconds to go. He's 1/10 up. Let's see how he navigates the last two turns. Two? I don't know if they're two. Yeah, two. And now the last one. Still, he needs to improve a 10th in order to jump Lucas. But it's not gonna happen. So nothing changed in the last lap for anybody. And the starting grid for the last round is gonna be Alex on top, Katkus in second, amazing display of performance from Katkus in the race that matters the most, Moss on third, and Lucas Keys on fourth. That's gonna be the top two lanes. And then after that, we have an unusual performance from Porta being behind. I mean, he's generally on and about with Moss and Keys, but generally he's slightly ahead. In the last race, Moss beat him. That's true, pure raw performance. But yeah, now he's fifth, and Bosic is sixth. So Bosic's fight with Katkus and with Rob Chandler is on. Mostly with Rob anyway, because Katkus is quite on top. But we'll see. We see performance changing quite a bit from performance to the race. Also, the track is going to change. We just got the session start countdown into 2020. Oh my God! People don't realize the track is dumb. I don't know.
Raf, don't forget ballast. Don't forget ballast, Raf.
Yeah, I forgot, but I actually just made a good case on why we shouldn't have it today, because we are playing for the full season performance, not the last one. So I forgot for the qualifying. It would be unfair to put it now. So yeah, what do you think? Oh, he left. Okay.
Well, he's gone. Yeah. Well, I think that's just what the situation is, isn't it? So, something a bit of oversight there with all the other things that you're doing behind the scenes. I mean, the boys will just have to get on and race and let it be what it is. I mean, what kind of ballast were we talking about? That was just for. It's
really nothing. We were talking about that with the admin team, that in reality the ballast that we are applying this year has like 0.7 tenths impact. So it's negligible in our kind of performance.
Yeah, so there's probably going to be more driver, I don't want to say driver error, but things that the drivers do themselves that will impact their race more so than the ballast, I would have thought. Yep.
Absolutely. And another thing I need to do, the Google Sheets stuff for the stewards. So just 1 second. They need a template so that the incidents get tracked automatically. Let's open this. This is round 16. Entry list.
The boys are starting the engines. 20 seconds to go. In what is an hour and a half long race, 90 minutes as well.
No,
as it was last week.
It should be.
Was it 60?
It's 60. This last one should
okay,
be 60. Yeah. Okay, share. Copy link. There we go. Connect. All right, up and running with the.
Nice. Cool. So we're a 60-minute race with one pit stop for tyres only, as per normal. Is that right?
Yep. 60 minutes. Pit for tires, no refueling.
Yep.
Rob entertained the idea of refueling today, which could be something as an exception for next year, but we didn't announce it, so we kept it the same. as making
Yeah.
even more of an all-in race, you know, a raw performance. But yeah, they need to pit for tires, but they cannot refuel. And today is particularly interesting. They start the race on damp, but the track already changed to greasy. We can see from the point of view of Porta, who's probably will start with Bosic, because he's probably that's where the group splits performance a little bit. We can see there is spray from the tires of Lucas Keys coming out. That means if they are on dry tires, it's going to be a very interesting first laps. If someone is with rain tires, it's going to get away, which I don't think anyone is with rain tires anyway. It's going to get away, but they will not need to pit fairly early, because there is no forecast for rain in the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking through Rob's windscreen at the moment, watching him go around, and yeah, there's some grey clouds. I mean, they're digital rain clouds, but they're out there, and you know, who knows what could happen. You said the weather is very temperamental and variable here in this part of Spain. So, I mean, the game would have that factored in. I'm imagining as well. Sorry, I should say the simulator. I shouldn't say the game.
Yeah, well.
I'll correct myself there.
Right, so now setting all the windows for these guys so that I can tap into their cameras during the race. We have 3 people today. Kurt Moss streaming. We have Stiff. And we have Alex. Alex doesn't have the camera on, but
looks like we've got, and Gibbo's starting from the pit lane, so there's always one.
Oh man, there is always one, as you say. And we
There's
are
always
about
one.
to get
Pretty close, man.
let me move into Helicam. Here we go. Moving into a very long straight. In this one, we see Cactus going on the outside and not making it through. Mattia, everything stays the same. A couple of drivers go outside. Alex actually had an issue there. Oh my god, he spun. Now that's an opportunity for Cactus to maybe win a race today. Alex dropped back to last. We'll see another last to first. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting thing. But Guti made all the way up to 6 as well, overtaking Royers and Stevens, who lost position to pretty much everyone else. And Stevens got a drive-through for not respecting the position, I think, during the grid setup. Oh my god, already so many things happen.
Just watching that replay again at the start. Hang on a sec. Yeah, Alex just went wide. No, nothing at all, mate. Just went wide and kept it out on the turn 1 on the ripple strips there, and that's it.
Probably a tire.
Maybe those greasy, the greasy conditions, perhaps. You never know.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Well, right now we see Porta going at Lucas, catching the interior of the next turn, and Lucas going a bit wide. Porta keeping inside the track, and that is another position gain for Porta. And now Chandler is on the ass of Lucas. That's going to be... I'm not sure how politically correct. I'm not politically correct. Oh, and Lucas slides. Look at that. That's another position for Chandler. Lucas managed to lose a few positions, and he's going into the pit. Why? I don't think that's damage. Must be to change the tires, isn't it? And also, Alex. Oh my god, did they... I don't know what's going on right now. Let's do something. Let's try to look
maybe
at...
maybe those theoretical points and changes in the table are coming to fruition.
Yeah.
You know, anything's going. It looks like it's chaos theory today. Just everything's
chaos
happening.
Theory, absolutely. I'm not gonna have time because I didn't set up. I think where is it? But also Moss went onto the pits. No, hold on. I'm looking at the replay before. So where the hell is Alex? Where is your... Oh my god, Alex! I'm getting so upset. Fuck, I had that ready and now I cannot see if he had the wrong tires, man. Because freaking Twitch doesn't allow you to put back anything. So he's changing into dry compound now. does that mean that before he did not have it? Yeah, he had the tires on 34 psi, so he went on wets. He went out on wets, and it was not good
right.
enough. That was what it was. They got confused with the damp conditions, and I think Lucas did the same. So now Lucas is on 12th with an unnecessary pit stop, and I can check, like, if we go into Steve right now, let's see if that works out for everybody, that my stream changes. Yeah, so if you can see Steve here now, I'm gonna remove the studio mode so I can swap immediately. You can see his tires are slightly cold, right? So they are not in optimal condition, absolutely not, but they are dry. So he's struggling, but he's first, and he has a slight distance with the second, whom he cannot see even from the what's the word, the mirror. But yeah, like getting his tires up to 26 right now in the top right, but everything else is on 25th. So he clearly bid for dries, which is what the choice of everyone else was. And this is the freaking reason why I like variable conditions. Two of the best drivers made a mistake. They are very experienced and nonetheless went out with the wrong tires. And
Yeah, they made a tactical decision that didn't really suit them, did it? Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
By the way, first track limits for Steph. We just see it on the screen.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, you know me, mate. I always try to find a silver lining. Both Lucas and Alex know what they're doing. Apart from that, perhaps little oversight at the start there. So they've now cleared a pit stop in what is a 60-minute race. So they've got more than likely going to have to manage their tyres now for 55 minutes for the rest of this race to not, be jeopardised by, the fact that they'd have to make 2 pit stops. So that's more likely the strategy that they'll be running through now.
Absolutely, man.
And they'll be building that in their mind while they're driving, and trying to. Hopefully, they may have to adapt their driving somewhere along the way to accommodate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh man. Right. So. Whew,
Now, a good friend of yours is your mate. Is your mate Toti Gutierrez? Is that right?
Yeah, that's my friend. Yeah.
Guti up there. Yeah, he's up in P4, mate. He's doing all right.
Consistency, right? That's what we were saying. Like that's working out for him. Absolutely. It is. Now let's see. Obviously, he doesn't have the pace, but if he manages, to finish there, to continue the performance like that, even if it's slower, it's still gonna be good enough to ensure a mid-grid position at the end, right? So. Let's actually tap into Moss. I have the camera set up on him right now, so let's move into him. And Moss also has very cold tires. Tell me.
I was going to say, I mean, we're talking about Chandler and Bozic earlier in the broadcast. Now they're stuck behind someone who's maybe out of pace to what they are, so that's going to impact their little battle in leapfrogging each other in the championship as well.
No, absolutely. The thing is, if I'm looking at the distance between Guti and Bosic, is where is it? Sorry, it's 0.7 Rob and 0.7 Bosic. For some reason, I'm also looking at the past with the stream of Moss. Yeah, so it's 0.6 and 0.7. Yeah, right. Like, let's focus on that then. We already could see the tires from Moss getting into better rate. Porta is super close to Moss, so that's gonna be a fight worth coming back to. But right now, let's focus on Totti and Guti. And Bosic made a mistake, and actually is now 1.4 seconds off Bosic. Very good, very good. All right, activating Helicam here. This is gonna get very interesting very soon. And in the meantime, let's see if I get this right. That's not right. That's Moss. Totti's not here. Steve is here. All right, I think we have all we need. Okay, now let's see. Let's see if this works. Okay, so going into Alex.
I
going
think
into
Rob will have a pass on Guti now, coming into the start-finish straight. He looks like he's got a run on him. Hopefully he might drag a slipstream out of it as well. It's a decent straight there, and that turn one's pretty quick with that left-hander.
Yeah, seems not to be close enough to do it, right?
No, they actually extended out, yeah.
Now,
Thought he
both
was gonna...
Lucas and Venables overtook number 12, which quit the race. So there's someone that just left. We don't know who it is. I'm guessing it's not any of the top drivers. Maybe the new guy. Yeah, I think it's the new
It
guy.
looks like it was, yeah, that's a shame. Not sure, I'll have a look at what happened. I'll just go back.
Absolutely. Now Bosic is actually losing time. His last lap was 1:36, while everyone is improving times. He did not, and now he's 3 seconds off Chandler. So the pressure on Guti slowed a little bit, or got reduced a little bit. Still, Rob is in there, but well, let's see, right? So the condition of the track is still not perfect. So it's green, it's improving. It moved from damp to greasy to green in less than 10 minutes. Clearly, the guys struggle with the perfect racing line still because the grip is not there. But it's giving us very interesting first laps, to be quite fair. Now the distance between Moss and Porta increased. Now it's 1.1. So it's like a rubber band. It's coming back and forth. I guess they have very different cars, the Aston Martin and the McLaren, so they must have different better sectors. But yeah, we can see now there Bosic in the back, still those 3.2 seconds. Chandler going into the slipstream of Guti. And Guti, he told me this is one of his favorite races to race in GP, sorry. And now he's driving it here on GT3 for first time. So he certainly knows the track. He's just adapting it to a four-wheel vehicle rather than two.
That's right. Look, I just reviewed that replay, and there's nothing untoward. Scott, the new driver, just had a lot. He lost it, and not sure if he went back to the pit, and maybe lost connection or did something else there. But maybe we'll find out during the week how he felt. But nothing to report. Yep.
Oof. Chandler getting dangerously close to Guti. The distance is now 0.2. He's trying to find the place, and he finds it. Does he? The next turn is gonna be to the right, and I think if Rob keeps the racing line there, it's gonna be his turn. And Totti goes on the outside. Very well done. He kept the position. Amazing. Very well. Very good job. Now I'm sure it's just a matter of time that Chandler goes through. But it's giving us a very beautiful thing to see here today. Gonna go into Chandler's bonnet to see how he sees from his point of view.
I do like the bonnet cam. It's nice when to watch this type of overtake or challenge. It gives you a good perspective.
Yeah, we can see Guti sliding a bit more than what we could see from the helicopter view, perhaps. And the racing line so different here, going wider but still managing to keep the car in there. And I think it's obviously because Rob cannot really be excessively aggressive. The track is not in perfect conditions, and I don't know. I don't think he's taking care of the tires, although Rob is known for that. He's a driver that takes care of fuel consumption as well. So he's I don't know what the word is.
Right. Is your point that Rob's doing what Rob does? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah,
or is he going against the grain?
No, there is an adjective for that. He's very careful with the car, if you will. He's very sensitive, or he takes care of it, right? So he doesn't overdrive the car. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And now also the fact that it has a Bentley doesn't help to try to do anything obscenely weird with the car to try to get an overtake, like throw it into the inside and expect the back to turn faster than normally would. So I have my cat messing around with me now, touching my headphones.
There
Sorry.
we go. And look, and Mark Stevens is pitted as well.
Right.
So he's down. It says he's down 2 laps at this stage, but it's probably a lap and a half or something. But so he's cleared his pit stop at least. So, and he's got no one behind him and no one in front of him. So he'll just lock in and do what he can. And we never know how he's going to fare at the end of the day.
Very nice. I'm gonna remove my headphones so that my cat doesn't mess with them. Can you speak to see if I hear you still? Okay. It's just now very... well, now I need to see if I'm messing up the stream like this. 1 sec. I hope not, but... yeah, I think I am. Yes, 1 sec, I need to put the headphones back. Oh no, and we see who messed up. That was Rob. 1 second.
Chris is right on him at the minute.
Oh my god, now it doesn't work. Fixed it. I don't know if I hear you though.
Oh, well, I'm still here. I haven't said much, I must admit. You're the live action guy. I'm the special comments.
Right.
But look, but what's been happening? I mean, we've got Guti, leading this little bunch there with Rob and Chris coming in. I think you said there was a little bit of an off or an error there from Rob, so it's really going to excite Chris there, isn't it?
Alex just quit. He went off track again and messed up, man. And he quit. Another race for Alex where he quits. That's very disappointing. Anyway, nonetheless, yeah, Rob made a mistake following Guti. It seems like the Aston Martin is doing fairly well here. Also, Moss doing well up there. And those are the two fights. Right. We're gonna change into Porter now to see how he's attacking Moss, and I'm gonna put the actual camera, on Moss, so we can see his face while he's attempting overtaking. Sorry, the other way around. When Porter is attempting to overtake Moss. So yeah, at least 15 minutes in, we still have 2 good fights going on. Right now, look at that. It's Porta going ahead. He overtook Moss, and I guess because his camera is a bit delayed, we are gonna see it now. It was driven by a mistake on the side of Moss. So the McLaren is now ahead. And who knows? The pace theoretically from Moss on qualifying was better. That's what I was mentioning earlier, that it doesn't necessarily mean that was going to end like that. And he right now changed his traction control settings. I don't know if it was higher or lower. Let me backtrack. He lowered them from 6 to 8. Maybe he feels he needs to be more aggressive. And number 29, Gibson, got the typical stop and go. 30 seconds. That's gonna be very painful. I think it was for spinning in the pit lane, right? So anyway, let's go back to mainstream camera, go back to Chandler, see how he's dispatching or not Guti, and in the meantime I'm gonna check if race control.
Yeah, I've done that too, man. I'm just having a look at it actually. Rob and Guti had a little coming together. It was in lap 9. But look, nothing too sinister. That was probably obviously the reason why Chris managed to catch up. It looks like Rob tried to take the inside and do a little overtake. I'm not sure what corner it was, but side by side, a
there
little
he
tap.
is.
Rob,
He
he went
just
off track.
overtook
So.
him. Yeah. I'm gonna actually, I know, I'm sorry for everyone, but I realized that I'm dropping frames on YouTube because I'm in the wrong network at home. So I'm just gonna change the network. It's gonna be like a blink for 3 seconds or something like that. So be right back.
So Rob's managed to pass Guti, and we've got Chris right in the mix as well. So that little coming together has really opened the door up and brought them together. Chris has just made a pass on Guti now as they approach. And Guti's come back at him. I'm not sure if they touched or not, so that'll be very interesting to see back.
Oh my god, man! The game is so stupid. Like it's something like I have never seen. The streaming didn't drop, nothing dropped, so I'm gonna change into someone's camera. But my what's the name?
Oh, we've just had another off. We've had Guti just lose it on the in sector 3. He and Chris were really at each other back and forwards, actually swapping positions all through sector 2, sector 3 of the track.
So
and
they swapped
maybe
again,
just a
you
little
mean?
bit of there's a little bit of your turn, my turn going on, and I'll quickly have a look at it again, but I don't think there was much in it. I think it was just maybe just a bit of adrenaline rush, in the heat of battle. So give me a sec, mate. I'll jump back and have a squeeze.
Can you believe it, man? Like, now my game is updating. So somehow I was in the game without the update, the 1.93 update. So now it's
How long is it going to
updated.
take?
Yeah. Oh my god! So
that's
if
the
you
trials.
if you just disconnect for a second, that's the weakness that the game has. If you just disconnect for a second, it drops you out completely. So you need to have like an absolute perfect connection all the time with no drops whatsoever. And I think that's the issue that during this season Liam and Alex had, because they don't have the best connections ever. That they had a minor disconnect and boom, kicked out of the game. And that's so stupid. Like really, just add delay, a disconnect, boot them to the pit if you want. But why would you disconnect them absolutely from the server? It's such a poor design. It's ridiculous. And mostly if you are a spectator, like who cares that you disconnected for 10 seconds, a minute? Just don't boot me out of the server. It's absurd. So anyway.
Well, there you go. Look, but hey, mate, I've just had a quick look at that replay with Chris making the pass there, the final pass on Guti. There was nothing in it, mate. I think in sector 3 there's an uphill right-left kind of sequence of corners, and Guti, he might have taken the two-wheel approach through there, and he bobbled over the curbing on that right-hander, the right kink, and just unsettled the car and had a little spin. Chris managed to miss him, so nothing to report.
All right. Well, on the other hand, though, Mattia and Moss are still together. So Moss managed through his change on the setup of the car a little bit to up his performance enough to stay within hunting distance of Porta. So Cactus, though, is having the best race of the season, and I'm gonna corroborate that as soon as I get the game back in. I'm gonna corroborate that. I mean by the fact that I don't think he won, or I mean maybe a second this season he might have gotten, but certainly not one. Anyway, we are back. I need to put my admin thing in again. Although I don't think I was gonna use it. And we do have Lucas as, let's call it the underdog now, coming out on 8 with his pit stop already done and chasing Wayne Rogers to overtake him. Anyway, back to Moss.
But he is putting out the fastest lap. He's got the fastest lap of the race, so he's doing everything he can.
Yeah, that's like a typical thing for him, to be honest. He does some stuff like that, and then he starts putting the fastest laps. He gets really motivated by that stuff.
Yeah. And Mark's just let him through as well, so Mark's done a good thing there. He's monitoring where he is in the race compared to where the other drivers are. So they would have been monitoring their lap times and know who they're fighting with or potentially what's at stake. So Mark did the right thing. So well done, mate.
Right, so the main battle is in here now. Guti did lose 10 seconds with Bossage and Chandler now. So that was
unfortunately, just that spin that he had, just
Anyway, Moss going at Porta again. These guys are gonna give us a lot of fights today, and I'm hoping this continues past the pit stop. Now, if I were Moss and I feel like I'm excessively faster, which I don't know if he is. If I look at the second,
here they go into turn one.
So, in terms of sectors, best sectors, Moss has 3/10 on the second. So he certainly has a faster lap within his hands. But yeah, overtaking, it seems to be complicated in this track. It seems like the last turn doesn't allow people to have much of a different racing line or difference in terms of grip out of the turn, and no one
and we saw
through it in the first.
Yeah, and we saw it earlier in the race too, like that a slipstream effect, for example. It's not as obvious. You look at the track map and you think, oh, there's going to be an easy pass into turn one, but it doesn't happen like that. So it's got its own characteristics.
Yeah. So some of you were wondering how we actually do the change of stream, camera replays, and all that stuff. Whether I have multiple screens or not. I actually don't have 2 screens. I thought about it. So it's not as easy as if I had 2 screens, to be fair. But what I do have is a very big monitor. It's a 38 inches, ultra wide, 4K. So it's it fits the stream running in 2K, so in 1440p on the top left of the screen in native resolution, so to say. And then I have space everywhere else to set up things like the race control and having them side to side, so to say. I mean, not so to say, comfortably. And other things floating around, and that's how I manage part of that. The other part is I have a stream deck, which allows me to change between scenes fairly fast. So I can switch. I have a photo, maybe it would be nice to show at some point someday. I have a photo of Steve, Alex, Moss, Liam, Toti as well, who was streaming earlier but not anymore apparently. And I have 3 more buttons for more scenes, right, through OBS, which is the software that I use to prepare things around. And that allows for a faster swapping. Still not where I would like it to be, because apparently when I have the windows in the background from the streams, they go blank. I need to investigate why that is. I assume it's for saving resources, so I think it's something that Edge does because I use Microsoft Edge, to save consumption or whatever. So I'm actually gonna look at it now. But yeah, it's very annoying, but it's not as annoying as what they have done on Xbox, because the way we stream on Xbox is by streaming the console to my PC with the Xbox app, and with that, then I put it through OBS. And in the past, that was working well in the background as well, but now if I change into the live camera of someone, the game turns into an overlay saying, press a key or something like that to continue playing, and it fucks it up completely. But on PC, yeah, the main issue is with the cameras, that they all go back into energy saving mode, I think. But yeah, now I'm gonna look into it to fix it. Now, other than that, it's just apps. The race control app allow us to change the cameras fast between the inside the game, and it allows to see, the way we show you during qualifying. It allows us to see where everyone is in terms of timings much better than what the game does. So yeah, that's a pretty small summary on how I do things around here, and how good is pitting, by the way.
Righto. Well, there you go. Thanks, man. Like I just have race control up and running, and I just run through the game. To be honest, that's what I'm doing. Like watching from the garage. So I just that's the way I'm doing it. So there might be a better way for me to improve the way I can, dart around the different information that we're getting, as we try to do this. So you might have to give me a tutorial, mate, and show me all your technical know-how.
You see, what I tell to my team at work normally is that the way they will find opportunities for improving things is by repetition, by doing things consciously with that mindset of how can I do this faster next time. I know it's a very obvious thing to say anyway, but in reality, it's almost as simple as that. Like obviously, from there to actually implementing so to say the process, there is a difference. But to find where things are annoying, uncomfortable, where they don't work out well. Obviously, having a Stream Deck, it's $100, so it's not cheap, but it's not super expensive. But it's an investment, right? That I do for my own enjoyment, but also for the people experience watching it, right? I guess it's fairly common within streamers anyway. And things like having 2 monitors and so on would also make it better. I'm conscious of that. I just don't right now. I don't want to change the setup I have. But in terms of the flow, like OBS, these streaming softwares give you so much opportunity, so to say, to automate things, to change things, to I don't know. Yeah, I mean. To automate is just one, but to make it nicer, there is such a long way to go for me there. But yeah, when you are trying to do this, when I'm trying to do it, I realize things that could be better. The question is if I have the time to work on them, actually.
That's right, yeah. Hey, look, we've got our race leaders pulled into the pits, mate.
Yeah, and he's
just now officially just been passed.
Yeah. He's 25 seconds in, so he's about to go out. Rob did his pit on 33, so that's probably the best possible time. Cactus going out on 32, so actually he beat him for 1 second. Guti did a stop of 40, and Wayne Rogers of 35. So these are the 4 guys.
Yeah, but he's got a drive-through. I'm seeing Wayne with the drive-through, so he may have done a speed pit lane speed infringement there on the way in.
Right. Yeah. You're right. So the mullet also left the race. Shame on him. And Lucas right now is 5th, and the real gap to Cactus is 0, man. They are one after another, and both have actually pit. So. And if I put the basic, you see they are both on the same with the green bar, meaning that none of them have to pit anymore. And that's gonna be the other fight of the race. Now that Chandler is away from Bosic, we don't know how it will be when they come up again. Porta and Moss, neither of them have stopped yet, but we know they're close enough to maybe perhaps get into another fight if Moss ups his performance a little bit again. But yeah, certainly we now have the fight between the virtual race of the leader, Ketkes, and most likely P2 in the championship, isn't it? No, sorry.
Yeah.
No, and the P2, which is Lucas Keys, right? So this is the fight that is gonna lead to nowhere because of the points different. There is like 30 plus 60, so 90 points difference. But still, it's gonna be beautiful. Probably the tires of Lucas are gonna give up at some point. 55 minutes is doable, but it's certainly not optimal. So he should get ahead of Cactus as soon as he can, because the last 50 minutes of the race are going to be tricky to keep those tires optimal.
Yeah, and Stiff's been having a good race so far. I mean, he's doing really well. So even if Lucas does get past him, is he really going to be able to extend gap to the point he's able to defend the rest of the race? That's especially now that Stiff's got fresh tyres as well. So
yeah, that's a good point. The fastest lap of Lucas is 133.0. Mattia Porta, Kurt Moss are on 33.9 and 34s. Rob is on 33.7 and Cactus on 33.6. So somehow Cactus was first and getting away of Porta and Moss because they are not being that fast today. But the truth is that Rob, currently on 6, has better pace or fastest pace than the first and second, current first and second. Now, as you mentioned at the beginning, Rob was held back by Guti quite a few laps, and that is pretty much what screwed him up, the chances perhaps of being higher up, and that's motorsport based.
that's right. And right now there's only 3 drivers who haven't taken their pit stops. So obviously we know Porter and Moss are doing what they're doing. And if you look at Chris at the moment, I'm just looking at the track map. He's on his own. He is in, it's like there's no one around him, and he's just doing. I think he's doing just what he wants to do. So he's able to use this next 25 minutes how he needs to. He doesn't have any pressure from anyone around him. So, and we know he's very consistent. So he's got that. He's sitting in P3. I'm not sure exactly what the timing would look like, where he will come out after a pit stop. But he's, the ball's in his court at the moment with what he's doing. So, well done again, just missed the king of strategy, it would seem.
And he's not going in yet. I thought he was gonna go in, Mr. Bosic, but no. And Rob, in the meantime, he did another 133.7, 2 thousandths of his best lap. That is a consistent pace. That's why still within fairly good distance of what's the name of Keys, keeping those 24 seconds gap. And Cactus just set the fastest lap of the race with 132.9. Let's go see his face of excitement. Where are you, Stiff? Did the stream change, man? There we go. Yeah, it did. So Steve set that super fast lap. He's super focused today. And as I was saying earlier, let me double check what's going on with him. So his best position has been first for 3 times today. Sorry, second for 3 times this season. So he had in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 podiums, but he didn't score any win yet. And it seems like today is going to be the day. And with that win, obviously he gets quite a decent amount of points, but it's not going to be enough to gap 70 to Lucas, who's currently on what position? Lucas is 5th, although once Moss and Matthias stop, probably that's going to change. So the real difference in points granted to first and second for one of these double points race is not enough for a second and first to be like that.
No, it's not. I mean, yeah, you would have to have everybody else lose connection to the server, crash into each other, and just and a nuclear bomb drop in the middle of the track. So at least that's not what we want to have happen, right? So the reason is of course. I mean, maybe not the bomb anyway, but no.
It's 22 points difference between first and second.
Yeah, there's always
he would need to be like, yeah, no, it's not possible. That's what you said.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this race is probably a good reflection of what the standings are. There's been a few anomalies here or there, but you know, the guys who are being more consistent and up there, and potentially maybe the next season will be pushing a bit higher up in the standings. You know, as we come to the end of the calendar year, as we go into the next phase of what Slipstream International is. So, you know, I'm expecting that we're going to see Chris right up there, Rob, really pushing in, Moss, obviously Porter, all the guys will be there. So it's just nice to see that the top half of the field really being competitive. And I think this race is going to be maybe a reflection of what we might see moving forward.
Very nice indeed. All right, let's give Steve a break then, and we are going to go check into how Moss is doing. Where are you, Moss? Pitting, actually, right behind Porta. Slightly high pressures. I don't know if certainly he's not having any repair, and well, so you can see, yeah, no repairs. I don't know if the pressure is gonna be any different, but they were slightly on the high end. I think not the high end. Actually,
all right, we've got a pit lane battle at the moment, mate. We've got Kurt and Mateo both in the pits, both exiting at the moment. So I'm sure Chris has obviously just moved into P1.
Yeah, there they went.
And Porter went wide on turn 1. And Moss, I think Moss is in front. And now Moss has gone wide.
Did they?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I think that's what I'm seeing. I'm only drinking red wine, mate. I'm not, nothing else. I don't think I'm hallucinating. Yeah.
No, so I don't know, because let me go back into the game view rather than looking at
That's
Moss.
right. Unless I was on the wrong car.
No, I see Porta 823, 999 ahead of Moss, isn't it? Yeah, ahead of Moss. No, I didn't. So must have been another car, no? So Porta and Moss still keeping 4th and 5th. And Bosic is now bidding. So
that's why you do the live stuff and I do the special comments, man.
No worries. Like maybe you saw Keys going out. Could it be? It's Lucas?
Maybe, yeah. I might have got the cars mixed up. Yeah.
Yeah, because judging by the gap is 3.8 now. The performance in the last lap. Yeah, no, it's not bad enough. Maybe, yeah. No. I mean, Porta and Moss, typical lap out of the pit lane. No, I think it must have been fine. So I don't know. I don't know what you.
I might have got mixed up. Might have been looking at Wayne's car actually. That's that yellow. The BM, and then mixing it up with Aston.
You're right.
Yeah, that might have been me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar. Anyway. It's very similar car.
I'm sure we'll watch it back and find out one day. That's all right.
Yeah. All right, so the run of Guti being up high finished after every pit stop. He's now sitting at 11th with everyone's pit stop done except Paul Hester and Lucas. No, Lucas did count, but I didn't see it. I don't know actually Paul Hester if he did pit before my game crashed. He did. Okay. So everyone pit, and these are actual positions in race. And so far we didn't have any blue flag, did we? I think Wayne Rogers and Stevens are 1 minute behind Guti. We must have had, but maybe we didn't see it. Or maybe that was what you saw, Wayne maybe moving aside because of blue flags. Yeah, that must have
possibly,
been
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Because, yeah, interestingly, we didn't see people catching each other. It was out of the pit lane when that must have happened then. So, nonetheless, recapping on where everyone is sitting, Cactus in first with 4 seconds lead over Case. That's what we said earlier, that's not going to change the results of the championship like that. On third, we have Mattia Porta, who's also currently aiming for winning the championship with this position. On fourth, we have Kurt Moss, who is attempting to gain position with Rob Chandler, but it's not going to be enough being fourth and fifth. So that probably means both Rob and Moss will stay where they are. And the gap between Rob Chandler and Bosic, currently respectively fifth and fourth in the championship, which is 64 points, also is not enough because they are close to each other. So, I mean, it's not a big surprise, right, that there is no big change because of two factors. First, because of that's the performance they have been showing throughout the whole year, yeah. And the second, the grid is not big enough for a drama to have a super big impact on this race. That's why next year,
That's right. Yep.
spoiler alert, we're shortening the season a little bit, which will make the point difference a bit smaller, but also the grid maybe comes to the end a bit with a few more drivers.
Righto, yeah. And to your point there about this race, no major incidents. Again, it's a relatively small field. There's only been one incident recorded on race control, so everyone's been very well behaved. So that's a good example of how to get around and race and enjoy what we're doing, and without creating problems for those around you, which is well done to the guys for doing that.
Indeed. This year, I'm looking now at the full list of people that participated. We had 40 different drivers racing with us. Fair to say that the biggest race of the year was the first one, so there was a lot of anticipation in there. Most of the drivers that did not return from the first race are actually people that finished very low, and maybe that's the reason why they didn't come back. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's where the idea of creating a community that's revolves around ACC and GT3 racing is probably what's more important, because I'm not racing today. Even if I was, I would be on P11 at the moment. I can guarantee you that. But I'm still involved, aren't I? And I'm still part of whatever this is. So there's many ways to be involved. It's not always about the fastest lap, podium one, position one, and winning championships. There's other ways to be involved and get whatever kind of community or feeling you want to get out of it. So if anyone's listening, there's many ways to be engaged.
And I mean that's the thing that it's the hardest to nail for everyone. The fact that everyone is looking for something different in life, and in their moment in their lives, in terms of fun, engagement, whatever. Like my focus, as soon as I have the house that I told you, I will be more in working in the garden rather than playing football, for instance, right? So it's just contextual to your situation. Then in winter, I will not do that and probably be more focused on maybe sim racing. Everything changes depending on your moment in life. And what we are indeed trying is not to have the most competitive championship ever, but the one that is most inclusive, even though I hate that word, but inclusive in the sense of people feeling at home here, right? And there is never enough ideas to try to cater to that. And most of the arguments we have in the admin team is how to nail that. I'm very stubborn with that. Like, for me, not changing too many things in the sense of keeping a consistent place so that people know where they're coming for, so on, is very important. While my mates, in a way, want to change things around to make sure we have a higher amount of numbers, which I also want, but we don't agree on what's the best way to do that, right? So that's why I say always.
It's definitely a very fine balance. More numbers doesn't necessarily guarantee or mean it's a better environment or a better scenario. Like in business, in at work, when you're making decisions and doing things, it's the difference between like a profit or a loss or a big advantage or a win or a lose is minor things that you get them right and everything just lines up well. So that's what we need to try and do here. little tweaks here or there, be consistent. We use that word a lot, and we've used it a lot today. You've got to drive consistently, but you also have to, make your decisions consistently and build a plan and kind of stick with it. I think that's really important. It gives everyone a good foundation to move around and find the spot that they want to be in.
You are so right, man. Like what you said about is this the I don't know exactly the word you use, but like the smallest things that make the difference. In life, it's like that. Yeah? So when generally most of companies and most of people work in environments where are generally very competitive in the sense that there are many players in the environment, right? Like whether
That's
it's
right, yeah.
having a bar in your town or I don't know, marketing company, or I don't want to say specifically my company, but we do see that. I mean, not my own company, the one I work in. I do
I
see
know what you mean, yeah.
that we have theoretically, I mean, so that the point is made, but obviously I stand behind what I'm going to say. Very good professionals that are very good at what they do, but we don't always win, right? For instance, in market share. I know I'm going a bit fancy here now with what I'm going to say, but
that's all right, mate. I love the detail. I love it.
I'm very comfortable in that environment. It's just what I like, and it's impressive to see, or actually to try to find the reason why some things work better than others done by the same people. And it's because of very small details that are hard to replicate. And that's why sometimes people are too afraid of AI. AI is not always going to have that creative mindset that is going to allow you to see these things that might crack a situation in your favor.
Yeah, that's right. And look, you don't know, during the week, so we commentated last week, and I did a midweek race with the guys at Monza. I'll tell you about that another time. Jeez, no, it was good fun. It was great fun, and I'm doing my usual thing. I realised that I'm on the the story of the tortoise and the hare. That's like me, but I'm just always the tortoise, and but I give the fast guys the chance to catch something, which is kind of good. But the thing with with business and getting things right, you don't know when the right idea is going to come to you. So during the week, I've been driving my car around doing work, and I'm thinking about tonight and what we're doing now, or I'm thinking about other things. So ideas come to you when they come. Absolutely. So AI won't do that. It doesn't have AI doesn't get distracted and have a moment of clarity, and doesn't have a moment of clarity that gives it a creative thought. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah. It can't do these things. So that's why flesh and blood's a great thing.
Oh man, I'm fascinated by how we could bring AI to a motorsports race, man. That's why you are such a good partner for this.
Do you think?
Absolutely.
They shouldn't model it on me, that's for sure.
Very good. So 9 minutes left, man. Mattia Porta managed to put the fastest lap just a few minutes ago, but that has been overtaken again by Moss, and the gap between them both is now 1 second only. Moss is really taking the machete out and is 0.9 behind, with the fastest lap being 1.5 tenths faster than Mattia. So it's bonus time, and at the same time I think I might have managed to fix the efficiency mode situation. So I'm gonna just try to go into Moss view, and I did not manage that, so I need to change another setting. So and see how he's actually on the chase of Porta, and I'm gonna move the game into helicopter view so that doesn't.
That's it, mate. They've just started that lap, haven't they? They're on to turn 4 now. A nice tight right-hander. And this part of the track, I think you got to flow the car through here and really just pick your moment when to get on the gas. It's not yet. It's coming up. There we go. Come on. You get track limits at this part as well. It's got to be very careful.
Oh no, it keeps happening. I don't know why they blank out the video. Anyway, yeah, 0.6. Perfect tire temps for Moss. Slightly low pressures, but that's I think up to taste now. Or wait a second, did the new patch not change the ideal pressure to 26.5 instead? Do you remember? Can't remember.
I think the ideal pressures are somewhere 26 to 27,
Right, so
where
he's
previously it
running
was
27
about
now.
27 and a half
Right,
was the
yeah.
ideal. So yeah, it's a bit lower. Yeah, and I think it's more forgiving as well, the range.
That's actually great. I know in the last patch they did some tweaks, but look at that. It's 0.3 out of the exit of the last turn. So Mattia, who's not the one I was saying that might have been having issues with the grip, Lucas is actually losing 3.5 seconds to Cactus, sorry, and might be that he loses even further. So uh, they are 3.3 seconds away from Lucas. Moss makes some mistakes there, goes a bit wide, loses 1 second in total. And we were saying earlier that maybe Lucas loses the tires toward the end of the race. And I'm not sure if it's the case. Let me check right now race control to see how this is looking like. So the last lap from Lucas was 34.4, which is similar to Katkus. Maybe Katkus doesn't want to push it too far. So Katkus running half a second off his best pace. Lucas is running 4/10 off his best pace. Porta is running 6/10 off his best pace. And Moss just did another way faster lap than anyone else. Not the fastest, but his fastest is 132.2 minutes. That is, I mean, I don't know how insane it is. In fact, the game the track is on fast, so obviously it cannot be too insane with the fast track. So what I realize is when I hit on the game, those tabs actually go blank. So it must be something related to detecting the fact that it's a game. So I don't know if maybe it's the game mode from Windows or something like that that causes that. So I'm gonna have to find a way to disable it. But yeah,
There you go.
he goes back at it.
Just a question for you, mate. With Stiff, has he won a race this season or not?
Steve, what? Sorry.
I don't. Has he won a race yet this
No,
season?
that's what I was mentioning
this
earlier.
is, so
He
this
has
is his
5
yeah,
podiums,
yeah, that's right.
but no wins.
Yeah. So whilst the standings are look pretty much set, don't they? There's not going to be any changes, but there's there's people racing for pride.
Well,
you know,
or
you know
to
what I mean?
avoid being overtaken, because if they didn't have
that's right.
participated in this race, it would have been different. Like it would have been
Of course, yeah.
substantial changes actually. But yeah, you need to show up to protect your points.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Yeah. So right now, if Lucas were to have an incident, which we hope he does not, that I don't believe that's really going to impact too much at all, because I mean, Chris, I don't think Chris can jump him, or is that?
In fact, Lucas. So he has the 3 wild cards already used in a race that finished 16th, another 12th. So even if he finished today, he didn't finish anymore today, because there are how many players racing? 8, 10? No,
10. 10 at the minute, yeah.
Right. So with 10, his worst position would be 10, and that would still be not a wild card. So I mean, my point is, it would finish still the same way, because it could be that this would be the wild card, and then it doesn't matter because it doesn't count. It takes the 13 best
okay,
races.
yeah.
But not the case in this case. So in the case of Cactus, there's 2 DNS and 1 12th. So also this race wouldn't be wouldn't be any worse than those. So the wildcard wouldn't get into play. For Bosic was 1 DNS, 1 15th, and 1 DN and another DNS.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think most people
mate.
already use their wildcards. Like, I mean, not purposely, but automatically.
Yeah, this the way it works. Yeah. Well, have a look at this at the moment, mate. We've got Moss, Porter, and Keys all on each other. Am I right?
Absolutely. Porta. So that must have been a mistake from Lucas then.
Talking.
Yeah. No, not a mistake. It's just Porta and Moss are there just going so fast, right? Like
Yeah.
Cactus and
Must
Lucas
be that.
are on
Although
34s.
those tyres, mate, they just haven't been able to last the last few minutes. Perhaps we'll find out later. But 2.5 minutes to go. This is the battle. This is the race for today. You know, it's who's gonna make a place and do their thing.
Absolutely. Where are you, Kiss? So it's just a little bit ahead to see it. So let's go into TV mode, then we might see him. So Keys there.
Yep.
Yeah, beautiful.
And another battle. We've got Bozic is right on Chandler as well. 0.7 at the moment. They're coming into the last turn at the minute. So the players are playing and the battles are forming, which is great.
Isn't it beautiful when it all comes together in the last lap, man? That's
well,
like,
we predicted
so
it.
Like
We predicted it at the start. We predicted it at the start. So I'll hand over to you, mate. You got a minute or 2 minutes to go. So go for it, man.
Yeah.
I'll watch Chriso.
So, wrapping up the season right now with 1 lap and a half left, as we have Cactus still having to cross the finish line with 1 lap right afterwards of that. We have the situation where he has 4.5 seconds advantage on Keys, but Porta and Moss are on top of him. Why? Because if you miss the race so far, Lucas had to pit in the second lap because he put wet tires to begin. At the beginning of the race, we had a damp track, and he put wet and probably made a mistake and did the early pit. Didn't mean that he had to pit twice more, but there you have them on the last lap going on one after another on the Slipstream. I bet my ass that Lucas is not going to finish on second today. I think Porta is totally going to overtake that, and Moss, who's currently the fastest one, is not going to have a chance of second, but maybe third. So I do see Keys losing the second position down to fourth. Let's see how that's going on. Moving into the bonnet camera from Moss. Let's see what he's seeing right now. I'm also gonna put his no, let's leave it like that. Not his face. I'm sure he's very focused, but we need to see the full real estate of the camera right now. And behind them, 33 seconds behind, is Rob Chandler and Bozic, the other last fight of the race, with Bozic about to overtake right now, but he goes out and yellow flag for him. He loses the chance of finishing fifth today. So that is it. Half a lap left. Moss, Porta, and Keys. Porta disappointing me, not managing to overtake Keys. Going into one of the closest turns, and Moss gets very, very, very close to Porta. Moving into Porta point of view for the last turns. We have 20 seconds left only. Hits very hard the bump there, Keys. Loses a bit of traction, allows Porta to go a bit faster on the outside, change the racing line, defends very harshly, changing the racing line absolutely to defend that, and that's gonna be it, guys. Keys managed to protect both positions in the last minute. Moss finishing too wide with Porta, but not enough to overtake. Fantastic performance in the last lap for Lucas. And we congratulate Cactus. Yeah,
amazing. Well done, boys. That was very close. I mean, whatever the splits were, that's just insane. That was a great way to end the race, wasn't it? And the season.
Indeed. Congratulations to Cactus for winning his first race of the season and ensuring his third position on the podium for the championship.
Right.
Congratulations to Lucas as well.
Rob's just entered the last. Rob's about to finish.
True. Rob is about to finish.
Here he goes, right through. Chris has just come past as well. There we go. P5 and 6.
Very good. And then we'll have Paul Hester finishing on 7th, Guti on 8th, Wayne Rogers on 9th, and Stevens on 10th. And again, guys, to recap on what that means for the race, say for the championship. Allow me to see if I can paste this up here. If it works. Yeah, you can see it. So you can see, I think, that the standings, these were the ones before the race. After the race, this is gonna be the end as well. Championship for Mattia Porta, second place for Lucas Keys, and Steven S. Cactus going on third with a fantastic performance today. Now, fourth to sixth as well, very good performance. I think the main issue with Moss, obviously, is the fact that he had more DNFs and DNS than the wildcards allowed, in a way as well, because he has a very different time zone to most of us, so sometimes he cannot join. But he did go out with a win on the 15th round last week, so congratulations to him as well. And thanks to Stevens and to Wayne Royers as well for coming in to finish today. Schneider didn't join us for a few last races, but finishes the championship on 8th. And Bisyakin, who has been coming in when he could, finishes on 10th. So thank you, everyone. That's been it for the World Series first season of 2023. It's been a pleasure to be with you, and soon we will announce what's going to be coming up in the next months until we start the new season of the World Series, what we will do in the meantime. And thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan, for coming along today and bringing so much value to this conversation and to this streaming.
No worries, mate. Thanks for that. Again, I appreciate everything you do as well. Behind the scenes and the way you do your live commentary, or the action stuff that you do is fantastic. And everyone's done well the whole season. There's ups and downs, but it's been good fun. And looking forward to next season.
Looking forward indeed to next season. Thank you very much, everyone, and see you soon. Not exactly telling you when, but soon. Have a nice weekend.